Hey friends, today we're going to do a flip through and pairing. This is a deck that I gifted myself over the holidays. It's Seeds from the Sacred Feminine. It's a 52 card deck, and I purchased this deck because I found illustrations by Lee Dorian in my Wee Moon calendar and fell in love with it. And a friend of mine let me know that they also had a deck. So I decided to pick it up. Now, these here are the card backs. Not a fan of writing like this on the back of cards, but you know, that's neither here nor there. So I'll put this here. I don't think I have these cards in order because I've been messing around with them. So what I wanted to kind of do was take a look at the cards and the guidebook. So I wanted to kind of take a closer look at the deck and the art. So here we have Quest for a New Vision, which is pretty ironic since that's what we'll be doing with this here Vision Quest deck. Ask for guidance. And this could be so many different ways, right? This could be asking from nature, asking from elders. It could be asking from spirit guide, asking ancestors. So I really love this card. Be kind to yourself. I know that there's someone watching this video right now that needs to hear that message. Be kind to yourself. Be still. I love the dragonflies here. For me, dragonflies are indicative of a spiritual journey. And I love this orb. It's like an orb of protection, this golden light. It's an excellent visualization for meditation, and I really love that. Create a sacred fire. This is so good. And a great reminder as well. I think the last time we did this was for the winter solstice. So cool. Don't blame others for your feelings. Oh, this is good. This is good. I had a moment yesterday where I could feel this happening and I paused and stopped myself, reminding myself this is not their fault that I'm feeling this way. So good. Ooh, this is a great reminder. Drink water. I love that she almost looks mermaid-like here, but drink water, especially when you're doing energy work. Like, it's very draining. It's very draining and it's important to hydrate. Embrace a new idea. Express your love. And I love this figure here with the drum and the wildness of her hair. Feel your pulse. Sometimes things happen that force you to feel your pulse, even hear your pulse. But it's a good reminder to check it periodically. I don't know about anyone else, but sometimes I can feel the pulse of the earth. It's powerful. Follow the cycles. I love this. You know, there's good cycles and there's bad cycles, and it's important to have awareness and to be able to discern which cycles you want to follow and which ones you need to break. Gaze at the moon. Something I love to do. Give away an item. I feel like this is so important in the world that we're in right now with consumerism. It's a good reminder to periodically purge. Go for a walk. Beautiful. Go in nature. I love the use of color, but also the use of all the little circles in this deck. Oh, this is good. Have a cup of tea. You know, tea is not something that I have been drawn to in past, but I find myself more and more brewing tea and sitting with it, especially when I'm working with my cards. Honor your body, right? Because your body is your temple. And your body has a language of its own, and it's always trying to relay a message to you. And it's important to listen. Honor your emotions. Listen to the song of the birds. Sometimes the birds are involved in very heavy chatter. It's impossible not to listen to them. Listen to the wisdom of your feelings. Because a lot of times when you feel a feeling, it's not the first time. And you actually learn something every single time. So I love this. Listen with your heart, not just your ears. So good. Make a feast. I love that there's pumpkins in this card. I don't have very many decks that feature pumpkins, so I love that. Ooh, make a sacred space. And really, any space can be sacred. What matters is the intention behind it. Make some noise. Ooh, I love drumming. There's something so special about it, so grounding, so nurturing, so ceremonial. I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity to sit in like a drumming circle. So, so good. Move your body, you know, because this is probably one of the easiest ways or fastest ways to move energy, especially if you find yourself with low energy. Plant a seed. I love this. I love the turtles here. Play a drum. Put your hands in the dirt. I just did this yesterday for the very first time in such a long time, and it felt so good. I wanted to transplant my pineapple and attempt to save my poinsettia. So we shall see how it goes. Release your shame. Why? Why do we carry shame for as long as we do? reuse something. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Just yesterday, we were packing up the holidays and the decorations, and I had used some Ziploc bags to cover up the electrical outlets outside, just, to protect from water. And I almost went to throw them away, and my daughter was like, no, wait, let's just, clean them up and put them back in the box, and we'll use them again next year. And I was like, I love that. Thank you. So yeah, such a great reminder. Say a prayer of thanks. Sing your song of life. These remind me of little maracas. Sit by a body of water. Oh my gosh, it's like one of my most favorite things to do. I love the ocean. And actually, if I think about it, I don't think I went to visit the ocean not once this past summer. The year before, I went like at least once a month. But I do live very close to a large lake, and that I find to be such a soothing thing to do, is to sit by the water and listen to the water and watch the wildlife. So good. Smile at a stranger, or take it one step further, compliment a stranger. That's one of my favorite things to do, because I feel like we as people don't hear enough compliments. And I figure to myself, if I give someone a compliment, perhaps they'll pay it forward and pay someone else a compliment. Speak your truth. Ooh, stand barefoot on the earth. The earth is cold right now. The earth is cold right now. That's such a great exercise. Take a deep breath. Ooh, take a warm bath. Again, love the mermaids in here. Talk to Mother Earth. I love this. A great way to ground. Taste something sweet. I've noticed that several cards in this deck have strawberries, and actually I wanted to share something. Recently, I read this book here, Braiding Sweetgrass. And in this book, there is a chapter called The Gift of Strawberries. And I love this story so very much. I loved this entire book, but this was one of my favorite stories in the book, because they're referred to as heartberries by the native people of the land. And it says here, we acknowledge them as the leaders of the berries, for they're the first to give us their fruits in the summer. And I just love that so, so much. And so when I see the strawberries here, that's what it reminds me of. Tend to your plants. It's that whole idea of reciprocity, right? In that chapter of the strawberries, it talks about the gifts, the gift of the strawberries. And the book mentions how you care for the plants, and then the plant gifts you the strawberry. And there's a sense of reciprocity. And in the book, the author says, If our first responsibility for the gift is gratitude, then the second is reciprocity, to give a gift in return. Oh, there were so many good little nuggets in this book. I just love it so much. And I love to be able to make the connections from the book to this particular deck. Watch your thoughts again, because our thoughts create our reality. Wrap yourself in a handmade quilt. You are not a victim. Your intuition is telling you something. And you can see here, they're standing on this symbol. It looks to be a turtle. It's similar to the turtle in the artwork here. And it speaks to the story of creation from the indigenous point of view. Honor your sexuality. Hug somebody. I've said this before. There are times that I need a hug, and there is not anyone around. And what I do in those moments is I hug myself, and that is okay. And it feels just as good. It's time for ceremony. Laugh a big belly laugh. Let your waters flow. I love that. Reminds me a little of temperance. Let yourself rage, howl, and wail. Lie on the ground. So, so good. All right, I'm going to give these cards a good shuffle and set them aside so that they'll be ready for pairings. The cardstock actually feels really good. They slip pretty nicely. Now I think you saw that they are glossy, and but they're a good size. They fit well in my smaller hands, so I appreciate that. Now we'll move on to Vision Quest. So I received this deck as a gift from a dear friend who knew that I had an interest in the deck and sent it my way. So this is the little booklet, and you can see this is more than just a little white book. It's quite thick, and it has some suggested readings. It talks about the majors, and then also all of the minor cards. And it looks like each one gives you some keywords, an inner message, and then an outer manifestation. I know a lot of the cards in this deck were renamed. These are the card backs, not reversible, but very, very beautiful. Love this so much. All right, so let's begin. So we start here with the clown. And I was surprised to see this representation. Decks start out with a turtle figure, and that is because Turtle Island was the name that they used for this land that we're on, right? For North America. And this is part of the creation myth that is common to several of the indigenous people of this land. Now, here they've used clown. So let me go into the guidebook. Most Native American ceremonial rituals reserve a place of honor for the clown, a dancer who mocks others behind their backs in a sweetly hilarious way. The tail of a coyote may be fastened to his hind side so that he can provocatively swish it in front of everyone's nose. He fools around with his mask, hops around other dancers, pulls their hair, and imitates their movements. I love that. Very sweet. Then instead of the magician, we have the medicine man. And here we have, instead of the high priestess, we have medicine woman. And I love that they're balanced, right? Then for the empress, we have grandmother, and we can see the turtle there. And then instead of the emperor, we have grandfather with the buffalo. I love that. And then instead of the Hierophant, we have the shaman. The shaman that helps, right, to connect to the energies, to help us learn more about our roots, our ancestors, and messages from the spirit world. Now here we have the lovers, sweet representation. And instead of the chariot, we have the spiritual warrior. I love that. Now here we have balance. Card number 8. I just want to check and make sure the order of the deck. So this has been renamed Justice, right? So it seems like perhaps strength and justice have been flip-flopped. All right. Here we have the Hermit. I love this, the Sacred Fire. And then we have the Wheel. And here they're calling it the Small Medicine Wheel. Now, here, this is where we see the renaming. Card 11, Life Force, which would be strength. And then card 12, would it be the Hangman, but they've renamed it to Vision Quest, which is a term used to describe going on a journey to find deeper meaning. So I really like that. Now here we have transformation for death. And then we have integration for temperance. So the card of integration, the keywords are alchemy, creativity, artfulness, union of male and female energies, the spiritualization of matter, finding one's true form, harmony, and equanimity. And then this is such a powerful image, the devil, but it's been renamed to torment. And that's such a perfect word, but the image is very potent. It's very potent. I do have indigenous ties to the Arawak tribes of the Caribbean, and this was the fate. This was the fate. Now we have the card of chaos here. This is our tower, and you can see the lightning bolt, the wild stallion, fire. Beautiful. The star card. This reminds me of a story that I read, and I don't remember if it was in Braiding Sweetgrass or if it was in The Seed Keeper, about a heavenly being that presented herself in a woman's form. So I love this, the way that they have illustrated the card. And we have the moon, right? It's pretty, even though there's a lot of changes. You have the moon, and then we have the wolf here, and here's the crustacean. But I love that instead, here's the two pillars. Instead of two wolves, I love that here we have the woman and the wolf, both making their presence known. The sun card. Ooh, okay. So then judgment card has been renamed to spirit guide. I really like that. So it could be that, there are ties to the Thoth version. So here, spirit guide relating to Aeon, right, which is a term they usually use in Thoth decks. The keywords are awakening, revelations, spiritual assistance, psychic experiences, a messenger from another dimension, release. And then here for the world, we have the big medicine wheel. So if you remember earlier, we had the small medicine wheel. Now here we have the big medicine wheel. Okay. So now we move on into the minors. So we start with fire, ace of fire with a wand, or sorry, with an arrow. Two of fire, will. I like that it has a keyword at the bottom. I don't have very many decks with keywords. This might only be my second one, but I really like that. Three of fire, integrity. Four of fire, completion. Five of fire, stress. Six of fire, victory. Seven of fire, endurance. And then the 8 of Fire, which usually we see, the 8 wands. Here we have this representation, insight. Okay, this is interesting. The 9 of Fire is represented by 1 wand, inner strength, right? Because usually you would see like 8 wands forming some kind of fence and then the figure leaning on one. Well, if you look at it that way, this would be the one that the figure would be leaning on, which is their inner strength. And then the 10, oppression. Mm. All right, so court cards are renamed. So we have daughter, son, mother, and father. I like that. I like that. So here's the daughter offering sacred smoke. The son is bow and arrow. The mother tending the fire. And the father. These are so beautiful. All right, now we're on to water. So here we have the Ace of Water. 2 of Water, love. 3 of Water, fullness. 4 of Water, abundance. These are a bit pippish, but I like the scenes. 5 of Water, loss. And because of the keyword, you would really read these with numerological associations. 6 of Water, pleasure. 7 of Water, excess. So usually here, we would see the 7 of Cups, each one with a different item in the cup, and the figure kind of dreaming about which one. But clearly they must have too much time on their hands to be like dreaming about all the different cups. So this one kind of speaks to excess, having too much, trying to keep too much. Interesting concept. 8, stagnation, right? This is the card where we usually see the figure walking away from the 8 cups. And why? Possibly they're walking away because they feel like their current situation is not going anywhere. A very beautiful 9 of Cups, joy. I love to see all the vessels in here and the beautiful waterfall. There's something so magical about waterfalls. 10 of Water, fulfillment. Gorgeous. Okay, so here we have the daughter and the son, the mother, and the father. Now for air, we have feathers being used. And that's another thing. So the suits are named according to their element, which of course makes all the sense in the world. So here we have the ace, 2 of air, inner peace. And that might seem different, but at the same time, it makes perfect sense, right? Because it's not until a choice is made that the struggle begins, right? In this moment where everything is delicately balanced, there is peace. Ooh. Okay, this is probably one of the better 3 of Swords cards, because usually, it's the heart. With the 3 swords, I like this. 3 feathers, bent, storm. I love this representation here. 4 of air, contemplation. Usually this is like the card of rest. But yeah, contemplation works because it's that moment where you pause. In order to contemplate, you have to pause where you're at, right? 5 of air, fear. 6 of air, clarity. Okay, I wanted to look this up. I should mention that, as with a lot of Thoth decks, when you get to the element that you're looking for, it starts with the court cards. And then it goes to the minors. So here we're at 6. The keywords are, there. Okay, keywords are intelligence, insight, creative vision, equanimity, inner balance, direct knowledge. Okay. And then the 7, futility. This is usually where we see the figure trying to steal away with the swords. I like all of the birds in the sky. Ooh. 8 of air, interference. The bird isn't bound, but it appears to be bound by the feathers. I love how they did this. This is so cool. 9 of air. So usually the nightmare card. This is hurt. Ooh, and then 10 of air. Yikes. Negative thinking. Look at those vultures coming in on that carcass. Wow. All right, now we have the daughter, son, the mother, and the father. Okay, and now we're down to the aces. Oh, I love this. Multicolored corn, ace of earth. And then 2 of earth, the squash. 3 of earth, growth. I can't help but wonder if these are the 3 sisters. Okay, I have to look at that. So in the stories, they're referred to, the 3 sisters are referred to corn, squash, and bean, and they would plant the 3 seeds together because all 3 helped each other out. Productive, so the keyword was growth, productive work, enhanced creativity, patient vigilance, precision, concentration, breakthrough. So it does not mention the 3 sisters. What I love about the idea of this representing the 3 sisters is that when you plant the 3 seeds together, it's a perfect example of harmony, balance, and reciprocity. Because you plant all 3, and the corn would be the first one that comes up out of the ground. And then the pumpkins and the squash, those take their time. The corn, and I'm just kind of taking a look at the Braiding Sweetgrass book, but the corn is the firstborn and must grow tall quickly. Making a strong stem is the highest priority at first. They need to be there for their younger sister, the bean. Beans put out a pair of heart-shaped leaves on just a stub of a stem, then another pair and another, all low to the ground. The bean focuses on leaf growth while the corn concentrates on height. Just about the time that the corn is knee-high, the bean shoot changes her mind, as middle children are known to do. Instead of making leaves, she extends herself into a vine. And so the vine can climb up at that point, climb up the stalk of the corn. And then the late bloomer, the squash, extends itself over the ground, moving away from the corn and the beans. But what it does, it creates a canopy of leaves that helps to retain the moisture in the soil. So the three of them help each other out in a way that is just truly beautiful, just like what you would expect in the three of Pentacles. Four of Earth, security. Ooh, so 4 is security and 5 is insecurity. Look at that. Interesting. 6 is the breakthrough. Ooh, 7 of Earth, depletion. 8 of Earth, inner order. Yeah, see? And then 9 of Earth, accumulation. And you can see here that we have the corn and the pumpkins. A beautiful harvest. Look at that. 10 of Earth, wealth. Because from this harvest, the best seeds are then saved for the family for the following year. And that is how the seeds are passed from generation to generation. It's beautiful. So now we have daughter of Earth, son of Earth, mother of Earth, and father of Earth. I don't know. I'm kind of liking the little borders around the card. I do like the keywords. This is definitely a deck that will take some time to learn. But I love the connections. This deck just shuffled so wonderfully. And you know why? Because this deck has been, this is a new to me deck. This deck has been used, gently loved, and it's broken in. And so the shuffle is amazing. Oh, it feels so good. The shuffle feels so good. Yeah, so this is a deck that will take time, right, to learn. There's a lot of stories and connections that can be made. And I am really looking forward to working with this deck and also learning more about the Native people. I guess I am searching for a little bit of myself, right? A little bit of my own history, my own background, my own culture, my own ancestry. All right, so what I'm gonna do is put the cards here, and then I want to pair them to the seeds from the Sacred Feminine deck. All right. I mean, immediately the colors are amazing. And how, look at the irony of this. Drink water with 4 of water and abundance. Because it's important to keep the flow. It's important to keep the flow. Otherwise, it becomes stagnant. So beautiful. Play a drum, 3 of water. And usually this 3 of water cup is that card of celebration. And so you do feel a sense of fullness. And I love the idea of celebrating that moment with the drum. Spiritual warrior and plant a seed. Because a lot of this knowledge was this was passed, right, from generation to generation through storytelling, through sitting in circle, through communion with family. And so in essence, you plant that seed and it gets passed down from generation to generation. For a fire, completion with be still. Now for me, this looks like sacred smoke. So that could be sage, but also it could be sweetgrass. It could be sweetgrass. So let's see, for a fire, completion, change, settlement, successful conclusion as much as a positive beginning, and harmony. So the inner message for this card is something important is reaching a point of fruition and therefore conclusion. Accept that everything in life has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Welcome the fact that every process, every situation contains its own disillusion. And the card here is inviting you to be still and sit with that concept or that idea. I feel like there's a lot of value and a lot of insights to be learned from both of these decks, but they work very well together. Ace of fire and sit by a body of water. It's a beautiful reminder, right? Because fire energy is so potent and so strong, but it can quickly get out of hand. So for me, I have a lot of fire energy in my chart. And so nothing feels more soothing to me than sitting by a body of water. I find it to be incredibly grounding. Beautiful. And oh my goodness, 7 of water, excess. The keyword excess with give away an item. Wow. So let me refer to the guidebook for this here. Although I feel like the card is pretty self-explanatory, but I wanted to kind of give you an idea of what the guidebook reads like. So we have give away an item. Keeping in mind here, 7 of water, excess, right? Are you holding on too tightly to the material things gathered on your earth walk? It is time to let some of it go, grandchild. Hold a giveaway. Honor the cycle of life and know that all good comes back to you. You are not meant to hold on to physical objects that no longer serve you. Practice your giveaway. Trust that you will lose nothing through this generous act. You are a spiritual being who holds infinite power in your hands. Release your hold on the stuff and feel the relief rise in your chest. You are free again. Remember the ways of your ancestors and pare your life down to the basics. Use only what is necessary. Allow your wealth to flow to someone who needs it more than you. Sacred law dictates that all life flows in a circle. Let life move as it was intended, and more beauty can flow back to you. As a child of creation, know that life generously flows towards you at all times. You can experience this generosity by moving into alignment with the sacred laws. Trust in your giveaway and let it go. So beautiful. This is a deck that I feel like both of these that I definitely will want to use together. But I feel like this is a deck that I'll want to spend quality time with, that I'll want to read the guidebook on, possibly do some journaling. And I love them. I feel like the colors work really well. Two completely different art styles, but I don't think that gets in the way at all. I think they work really well together. They're gorgeous. I'm very much going to enjoy working with this deck. I mean, look at this, Seven of Earth, depletion, with the idea that it's time to embrace a new idea. Okay, so here you have some depletion. Well, that's okay. We can create a new idea. We can create something new. So beautiful. Oh, I love these decks. I can't wait to get into them. Thank you so much for sitting with me as I go through these decks and take in their artwork, take in their medicine, their message. Such powerful decks here. Thank you.